That's it then for another spectacular Grand Prix here at Austria, and a truly magnificent drive to hang on and take the win. Anthony, tell me, what was it that helped them achieve this success?
I think that smart tyre management on track and very smooth driving definitely assisted in their victory today. That combination meant they got the absolute maximum out of their tyres at all times.
So here they come now, with Williams leading the way to the podium. A hard-fought victory for the team today, and one I'm sure they'll savour. It's Williams, today's winners. It's time for the Italian Grand Prix once again, here at the beloved and iconic Autodromo Nazionale di Monza. With the lowest downforce and drag of any circuit in the season, expect to see drivers making the most of the slipstream effect here today. With the rain coming down here at the 3.6-mile Monza circuit, the low drag setups preferred by most teams could cause them some problems in today's Grand Prix. So watch out for cars struggling for grip around Parabolica, the last and most demanding of this track's 11 corners. It's not going to be plain sailing for our drivers today, although with the sky falling as it is, perhaps sailing isn't too far from the truth. Anthony Davidson, could be a wet one today. Great to have you with us. What are your thoughts?
It is a touch damp, isn't it? Well, as a driver, there are three big things to worry about when racing in these kind of conditions: standing water, tyre temperature and visibility. Judging distance to the cars around you is really tricky when you're driving through the vast amounts of spray that these wet weather Pirelli tyres kick up.
Off the back of a fantastic qualifying session, it's time to see how our starting grid looks for today's race. De Jong lines up on pole position, and it's Charles Leclerc in P2. Looking at the rest of today's grid, we have Norris, Verstappen, Yuki Tsunoda, and Ricciardo, Gasly, Latifi, Sainz, and Esteban Ocon, Mick Schumacher, Stroll, George Russell, and Giovinazzi, Bottas, Aitken, Nobuharu Matsushita, and Callum Islet. Joe, they've taken a grid penalty, and Nikita Mazepin. Which of these talented drivers will come out on top today? It's been coming for a while, this one. What an excellent win for Williams. So Anthony, what made the difference out there today?
Well, keeping their tyre temperatures up in the tricky wet conditions was really important. There's not much grip out there at the best of times, and it's 10 times worse if you're out there on cold tyres. So the way they kept the rubber in its proper operating window was a huge advantage today.
Williams have put in an incredible performance out on the track today. I'm glad all the hard work of theirs has finally paid off. We've witnessed some great battles here in Sochi, and they've taken a fantastic win. Anthony Davidson, what helped them deliver this result, do you think?
I'd say it was down once again to good, consistent driving, nailing the corners, working to the track conditions and perfecting the team's strategies. They got all of these things right today, and the results speak for themselves.
Oh, here they are now. I always love seeing the independent teams do well. Williams have a long and storied history with F1, and I'm delighted to see them on the top step of the podium. Here we are then in one of the fastest growing cities in the United States, the fabulous Austin, in the great state of Texas. The circuit itself 14 miles southeast of the city centre and home to the US Grand Prix since 2012. The latest in a long list of iconic tracks to have that honour. We're racing today then in Travis County, Texas, around the 20 corners of the wonderful Circuit of the Americas. We'll be reaching speeds of around 200 miles an hour, and there are plenty of good opportunities to pass, especially through the two DRS zones into Turn 1 and the very long back straight into Turn 12. Let's run you through the driver grid order for today's exciting race. De Jong lines up on pole position, and it's Charles Leclerc in P2. As we continue through the rest of the grid today, we have Tsunoda, Verstappen, Daniel Ricciardo and Latifi, Norris, Gasly, Sainz and Mick Schumacher, Russell, Joe, Antonio Giovinazzi and Bottas, Aitken, Eilert, Nikita Mazepin and Esteban Ocon. They'll be starting further back after an earlier grid penalty. Stroll and Nobuharu Matsushita. And with lights out just moments away, it's time to go down to the track. Here they are then, coming into Parc Ferme, and an excellent win for the Williams team. Talk to me, Ant. What was it that set them apart from the competition today?
Well, this was a real team victory. They put together a solid strategy today that appeared well suited to the conditions out on track. The driver did everything that was expected of them in the moment to really execute the team's plan to perfection, a shining example of how F1 really is a team sport.
It looks like it's time once again to hand out the silverware as these successful drivers make their way to the podium. It was a gritty performance today by Williams, and they've got the race win to prove it.